As we head into 2026, I want to encourage us to give increasing thought to what's going on in society and why things seem to be heading in a certain direction, so that we can be those commended as were the sons of Issachar, people who understood their times and knew what Israel should do, so that we could be like those the Apostle Paul said want to walk in wisdom towards those who are outside the church, redeeming the time. And so to redeem the time, we have to understand the times, and we have to understand what the times should be like, and then how we would redeem the time that's headed in one direction into a different direction. I'm going to use today two audio clips from Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn's questions to then Judge Ketanji Jackson Brown during the Senate confirmation hearings. I think they will help you understand the times better than perhaps anything else I could give you, to put it into context in real life. Here's what's happening, and I'm going to offer a little commentary on them that I hope will be helpful, so that we'll better understand why I keep saying I don't think what we are doing as Christians is going to change the direction in which things are going. I've analogized it to a merry-go-round in which the cosmos is spinning one particular way, and a lot of the laws and arguments we're making are like dragging our feet, but that's not going to change the direction of the merry-go-round. It's not going to change the understanding of the cosmos, and therefore the understanding of the cosmology that's operating, that's producing the society that we're in. So the reason I want to offer this is because I see many Christians trying to bone up on Marxism and intersectionality and critical race theory, and not that those things are unimportant, but we have to look at what kind of understanding of the cosmos do we have that would produce those things that we as Christians would critique as wrong. What kind of understanding of this place is it that would produce that, and what kind of new understanding of the cosmos would need to infiltrate the thinking of society and the thinking of our jurists so that things would go in a different direction? So let's hone in to these two audio clips. So let me get to the first one here. Give me just a second, because I'm not fancy with my technology. And here is the context for this. Senator Blackburn has just given a lengthy quotation from an opinion written by late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg about the physical difference between men and women. And Senator Blackburn summarizes it in one sentence and poses a question to the justice. And here it is. Let's listen.
Agree with Justice Ginsburg that there are physical differences between men and women that are enduring.
Now let me just stop there real quickly. Notice that she asked about physical differences that are enduring. I don't think anybody would say that there aren't enduring physical differences between men and women. But that's not the question that needs to be answered in our society. But what is the significance of those differences? Is there anything arising out of those differences that has to do with what it means to be human and what it means to be male and female? You see, we're focused on the physical, and we make all the arguments about the physical and the biology, when that's not really the question in society that must be pressed, that must be answered, that would change the cosmos from a direction in which all that matters is biology to one that says, no, biology has a meaning more than, beyond the biology, what we call metaphysics or ontology. Now, let's listen to the answer. Here it comes.
Senator, respectfully, I am not familiar with that particular quote or case,
Okay.
so it's hard.
So she said, well, I don't really know the context of that. And so the senator follows up with a more pointed question that's the one that went viral and the answer that went viral. But let's look at it because it's a perfect example of what I've been talking about. Here it comes. Hold on just a second.
Can I
Here it is.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word.
Okay, that's what got lampooned. No, I can't provide because I'm not a biologist. But notice that she said, in this context. Now I'm going to finish playing her answer and explain why that's so important. And it's not as silly as we want to think it is, because Justice Jackson Brown has bought into an understanding of the cosmos that dictates that answer. And we have to ask the questions that flush out her understanding of the kind of place this is, or we'll never address the root of the problem. Here's the rest of her answer.
Woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition.
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the law and I...
Okay. What we need to appreciate there is that is an expression of the disorder of the cosmos that I've been talking about. You see, biology is one thing and law is another, and the two don't relate. So what happens, we get into law, and all we're doing is fighting over definitions because the words themselves have no meaning until we give it to them. That is exactly what I mean by we have embraced a metaphysical nihilism as our cosmology, that all there is stuff, and yes, the biologist can look at the stuff and say this is a male or a female, or if you want to call it a woman or a woman, that's fine. But what does it mean? Well, we decide what it means because that's just stuff. And in my context, which is not biology, I'm fighting over definitions of words, and the word woman could mean one thing when it comes to a women's shelter. It could mean a different thing when it comes to a bathroom or locker room. It could mean another thing when it comes to an athletic field. It could mean another thing when it comes to, a women's prison. You see, because the whole world is now disordered. And when you lose God's ordered cosmos, in which all things fit together, in which law and biology don't conflict but mesh to define what it means to be human, to be a person, well, then you can have ordered liberty. But that's not possible in the kind of cosmos that Justice Jackson Brown lives in, and that she is going to write into her opinions about the law and the Constitution. I hope that's helpful.